Timmy and the Magical Strawberries. Timmy was a curious little boy who loved nothing more than exploring the forest that surrounded his village. One sunny day, he set out on a walk through the forest, eager to see what new wonders he might discover. As he walked, he came across a patch of strawberries growing wild. They were the most beautiful strawberries he had ever seen, a deep, rich red color with a sparkling sheen. Timmy was tempted to try one of the strawberries, but he was a little bit hesitant. He had heard stories of magical fruits that had strange powers, and he wasn't sure if these strawberries were safe to eat. However, his curiosity eventually got the best of him, and he reached out to pluck one of the strawberries from the vine. As soon as he touched it, he felt a tingling sensation run through his body, and he was filled with a burst of energy. Without hesitation, Timmy popped the strawberry into his mouth and savoured the sweet, juicy flavour. As he ate the strawberry, Timmy felt a surge of energy coursing through his veins.
He felt as if he could run for miles without getting tired.
He couldn't wait to share his discovery with his friends, so he turned and ran back to the village as fast as he could. When Timmy arrived back in the village, he couldn't wait to tell his friends about the magical strawberries he had found. He described the patch of strawberries to his friends in great detail, and they were all eager to try them for themselves. They decided to set out for the forest the next day to see if they could find the magical strawberries themselves.
As they set out on their journey, Timmy's friends were filled with excitement and anticipation.
They couldn't wait to see what other adventures the magical strawberries might lead them on. The next day, Timmy and his friends set out for the forest to search for the magical strawberries. They followed Timmy's directions, and after a short while, they came across the patch of strawberries. Each of them plucked a strawberry from the vine and ate it, feeling the same burst of energy and excitement that Timmy had experienced. With the energy from the magical strawberries coursing through their veins, Timmy and his friends decided to have a party to celebrate their discovery. They ran through the forest, playing games and having a great time. As they played, they came across other strange and wondrous things. A sparkling stream, a clearing filled with brightly coloured flowers, and a treehouse hidden high in the branches of a tall oak tree. As the sun began to set, Timmy and his friends made their way back to the village. They were exhausted but happy, having had the most amazing day of their lives. They all agreed that they would have to come back and explore the forest again soon. Timmy and his friends became known as the Magical Strawberry Gang, and they spent many happy days exploring the forest and having adventures together. They told everyone in the village about the magical strawberries, and many of their friends and neighbours came to try them for themselves. The magical strawberries became a beloved treat in the village, and everyone enjoyed the energy and joy that they brought. As word of the magical strawberries spread throughout the village, many of the villagers became eager to share them with others. They saw an opportunity to make their village famous by selling the magical strawberries all over the land. Timmy and his friends were excited about the idea and helped the villagers to pick and pack the strawberries for sale. They made sure to only pick the ripest and most flavourful strawberries, and they packaged them in beautiful baskets adorned with ribbons and flowers. The villagers set up a stall in the town square and began selling the baskets of magical strawberries to anyone who wanted to try them. They quickly became a hit, and people came from far and wide to taste the delicious, magical fruit. The villagers were thrilled with the success of the strawberry sales, and they began to dream of all the wonderful things they could do with the money they were making. They planned to build a new community centre, a playground for the children, and a library filled with books. Timmy and his friends were happy to see their village prosper, and they enjoyed helping out with the strawberry sales. They knew that the magical strawberries had brought joy and happiness to their community, and they were grateful to be a part of it. As the strawberry sales continued, the villagers noticed that their baskets of strawberries seemed to be dwindling faster than usual. They counted the strawberries every morning and evening, but they couldn't figure out where they were going. Timmy and his friends decided to help solve the mystery. They set up a stakeout, hiding in the bushes and watching the strawberry stall at all hours of the day and night.
After a few days of waiting and watching, they finally caught the thief in the act.
It was a group of mischievous squirrels who had been sneaking into the baskets and stealing the strawberries. Timmy and his friends were surprised, but relieved to find out that the thief was not a person. They came up with a plan to keep the squirrels away from the strawberries. They built a fence around the baskets, using sticks and branches that they found in the forest. The squirrels were disappointed, but they respected Timmy and his friends' efforts and stopped stealing the strawberries.
The villagers were grateful to Timmy and his friends for solving the mystery of the missing strawberries.
They rewarded the group with a special batch of freshly picked, juicy, magical strawberries. Timmy and his friends enjoyed the delicious treat, feeling grateful for the wonderful adventures they had had with the magical fruit. As the summer came to an end, Timmy and his friends were sad to see the magical strawberry season coming to a close. They decided to have one last celebration before the strawberries were gone for the year. They decided to hold a great strawberry race where everyone in the village would compete to see who could run the fastest while eating a magical strawberry. The day of the race arrived, and the village was bustling with excitement. Timmy and his friends spent the morning setting up the course, which wound through the forest and back to the village. They placed baskets of magical strawberries at various points along the course, and each contestant was required to stop and eat a strawberry before continuing on. The race began, and the villagers took off running. Timmy and his friends were among the front runners, but as they neared the end of the course, they were neck and neck with old Mrs. Jenkins, who was known for her speedy legs. As they approached the finish line, Timmy and Mrs. Jenkins both reached for the last basket of strawberries. They each grabbed a strawberry and took a big bite, feeling the burst of energy that the magical fruit provided. In the end, it was Timmy who crossed the finish line first, but Mrs. Jenkins was a close second. The villagers cheered and applauded as Timmy and Mrs. Jenkins were crowned the winners of the great strawberry race. Timmy and his friends celebrated their victory with a feast of magical strawberries, and they reminisced about all the wonderful adventures they had had with the magical fruit. They knew that they would always cherish the memories of their time with the magical strawberries. As the summer came to a close and the magical strawberry season came to an end, Timmy and his friends were sad to think that they wouldn't be able to enjoy the delicious fruit for several more months. They decided to try to find a way to preserve the strawberries so that they could enjoy them during the colder months. Timmy and his friends set out to experiment with different methods of preserving the strawberries. They tried drying them, freezing them, and even pickling them. None of these methods seemed to work, and the strawberries always ended up losing their flavor and texture. Just when they were about to give up, Timmy had a brilliant idea. He remembered his grandmother telling him about a special recipe for strawberry jam that she used to make. Timmy and his friends decided to give it a try, and to their delight, the jam turned out perfectly. It had the same sweet, juicy flavor as the fresh strawberries, and it tasted great on toast, waffles, and even ice cream. Timmy and his friends were thrilled with their success, and they spent the rest of the winter enjoying their homemade strawberry jam. They were grateful to have found a way to keep a piece of summer with them all year round. As Timmy grew older, he often thought back to the wonderful adventures he had had with the magical strawberries. He remembered the excitement of discovering the patch of strawberries in the forest, the joy of sharing them with his friends, and the satisfaction of finding a way to preserve them for the winter months. Many years later. One day, Timmy's own children came to him with questions about the magical strawberries. They had heard stories about the fruit from their friends, and were eager to know more. Timmy was happy to oblige, and he sat down with his children to tell them the tale of his adventures with the magical strawberries. As he spoke, Timmy's children listened with wide eyes and open mouths, hanging on every word. They were fascinated by the story and couldn't believe all the amazing things that Timmy and his friends had experienced with the magical fruit. When Timmy finished his story, his children were filled with questions. They wanted to know where they could find the magical strawberries, and if they could have adventures like Timmy's. Timmy chuckled and told them that the magical strawberries were a special, one-of-a-kind treat that could not be found just anywhere. However, he assured them that if they were adventurous and curious, they too could have amazing experiences and create special memories of their own. Timmy's children were inspired by his story, and they vowed to make the most of every day and embrace all the wonderful opportunities that came their way.